You know they eat babies. That is not bullshit. It's true.
It's accountable.
¡Manos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos.
For years, rumors refused to die within Hollywood's most guarded circles. Hushed claims of secret gatherings, unsettling rituals, and an obsessive, almost otherworldly hunger for youth that time couldn't touch. Most brushed it off, writing it off as conspiracy chatter or late-night internet fiction. But everything shifted the moment one name surfaced again and again inside sealed federal investigation records. Not as a distant connection, but as a repeated presence tied directly to the logs of the most infamous private island of our time. Now the question isn't whether something happened. It's this: what was truly unfolding behind those locked doors far from the public eye? And why is the one person who witnessed it all finally choosing to speak?
I'm not for trafficking of children. I want to stop it. It's just what they do to children. Children are nothing more than like a cow. It's already past the drug trade, okay? We're at that point right now. And if we let our little ones continue to be slaughtered, boy, there's going to be a judgment on this world, and especially our country. Because they're pulling kids out of the darkest recesses of hell right now, in dumbs and all kinds of places. The adrenochroming of children, look, where we're at right now, hopefully we need your prayers. Essentially, if you have adrenaline in your body, I'll just simplify it. And when you are scared, you produce adrenaline. If you're an athlete, you get in the fourth quarter, you have adrenaline that comes out of you. If a child knows he's going to die, his body will secrete this adrenaline, and they have a lot of terms that they use. It's the worst horror I've ever seen. It's screaming alone, even if I never, ever saw it. It's beyond, and these people that do it, there'll be no mercy for them. A lot of people that are involved in it all over the world that are in this, and many of these people are very famous. Set yourselves apart from this corrupt generation. Be saints. You were not made to fit in. You were born.
For nearly 2 decades, Portia de Rossi has remained at Ellen's side, presenting a flawless image of Hollywood's untouchable power duo. But beneath that carefully crafted facade, insiders claim something has been quietly unraveling, cracks forming over time, fueled by a revelation so unsettling it altered the way Portia saw her marriage forever. We're talking about a world where youth isn't simply admired, it's extracted. A hidden system where the elite are convinced vitality can be taken from the young and absorbed by the old through methods that feel ripped from a nightmare, not the walls of a California estate. And now, as pressure mounts and legal scrutiny tightens around some of the most powerful names alive, the truth is no longer staying buried, it's rising.
DeGeneres is named in the Epstein documents, and that part is real. Her name appears in the broader index of over 300 high-profile individuals that show up across the investigative materials. Flight logs, communications, third-party interviews, peripheral record.
She believed consumption was transformation, that youth could be taken in, that vitality could be absorbed. She talked about ancient rites, about elites throughout history who understood what the masses didn't. There was a separate kitchen on her property. Stainless steel, private entrance, no security cameras.
We're living in a time where the boundary between science fiction and reality is dissolving, especially in the shadowy world of longevity. In Silicon Valley, billionaires are openly pouring money into startups obsessed with experiments involving young blood plasma transfusions, a practice often whispered about as ambrosia. The promise? That by channeling the blood of the young into aging bodies, time itself can be forced to reverse. On the surface, this research is tightly controlled and widely questioned, but beneath that official narrative lies something far more disturbing. In the underground version, the whispers grow darker, stories of extraction of biological materials taken from young bodies under conditions of extreme fear or distress. The theory, passed quietly through elite circles for decades, suggests the body releases rare compounds in those moments, substances believed to restore vitality to whoever dares to consume them. This is the hidden story tied to the alleged treatments on Epstein Island and the rituals Ellen is said to have confided to her wife. A belief rooted in something chilling, that youth is not just a stage of life, but a resource. One that can be taken, controlled, and used by those powerful enough to claim it.
Let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin.
This sheds light on an obsession with youth in Hollywood that runs far deeper than simple vanity. It's not about appearances anymore. It's about a raw, biological craving for vitality itself. When Portia allegedly walked in on those preparations inside a cold, stainless steel kitchen, what she saw wasn't a chef at work. It was the final stage of something much darker, a global network built on human sourcing. The science exists. The appetite is relentless. And those sitting at the very top of the pyramid have spent years making sure no one ever questions where their so-called vitality truly originates. But now, as more insiders begin to step forward, the veil is finally lifting, exposing a hidden industry built on something far more disturbing than anyone imagined.
There's a separate kitchen on their property. Stainless steel. Private entrance. No security cameras.
Ever wonder how these stars maintain that flawless glow while keeping their homes perpetually A-list ready? I've carefully curated a lineup of top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials whispered to be favorites among Hollywood's elite in my official Amazon storefront. Tap the link in the description to explore the Celeb Curio collection now. But as those files started surfacing, the focus began to drift away from convicted predators and toward the household names accused of quietly keeping that shadowy machine in motion.
There was also a lot of language that appears to be coded regarding food. I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza. Another email read, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." This one talks about, yeah, that's the pizza. You mean radiating a soft glow with a look of bliss and excitement. There's one more, I think, in this list as well. "Sorry, I have no stomach for even the slightest aggro. I don't have the stomach for it for any drama, imaginary or real. I'm still fragile off the last one and scared of shadows." This is in response to some videos that were shared where Jeffrey Epstein himself says, "I watched all of these videos, don't send any more." And then Ghislaine is like, "I can't stomach any of this." What the fuck did you send? That Jeffrey Epstein was like, nope.
Nothing was ever confirmed in a courtroom, but the claims painted a chilling picture. Whispers that she facilitated introductions, quietly linking powerful figures with young, rising talent, all while ensuring the industry's darkest secrets never surfaced. When the Epstein files detonated across the internet, the public was stunned by how many beloved, family-friendly names appeared entangled in a world of private islands and hidden offshore dealings. The contrast was jarring, a figure urging kindness on stage, while allegedly moving within circles tied to disgraced financiers became a reality many struggled to accept. And just when it seemed the story couldn't take a darker turn, a new theory erupted online, one so unsettling it feels ripped from the pages of a nightmare.
For example here, Epstein sends a message to someone, she looks pregnant, reacting to a photo. And the client replies back to Epstein, "You mean radiating a soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza." I cannot be clearer than this, that this is a code word. It makes no sense in that context whatsoever. And this probably the example I gave you earlier, when his neurologist gave him the medicine for having an erectile dysfunction, I assume, or maybe even Viagra, and then told him to wash his hands, go have pizza and grape soda. Has been mentioned time and time again. Having adult men, successful men that are very health oriented, constantly talk about pizza with grape soda, which I've never heard before.
Yeah, I've never heard of pizza and grape soda before this. I don't know if that specific combination was part of the whole Pizzagate thing, but it's definitely mentioned a lot because I saw that phrase, so I looked it up and was like, is this actually like in there multiple times? And it most definitely is.
There's another one here. Have you seen the beef jerky mentioned as well? There's an email here from Jeffrey Epstein, someone else. That's Francis. Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his jerky recipe from the restaurant and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Cook's. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. Yes, time at 3 p.m. There's other emails of him talking about beef jerky. Another one here Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Steve Hansen saying, "Hope you're feeling better. Did we analyze the beef? Did you analyze the jerky?" Now, there's talks about jerky, referencing human meat. It could be for scientific research, it could be something else that's even sicker. But there's more emails here talking about beef jerky. Have you had time to go through those? There's one here. Thank you so much. Super cool. IT guy setting up Surface right now. We are ridiculously excited. And beef jerky, delicious. Thank you. Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
It is very. Now I've got all those emails saved. I'd actually had somebody send to me all of those to say, "Hey, would you check this out?" So I have them. I have not read through all of them, but there's no shortage of terms that are phrased in a peculiar way. Muffin is another one. I've seen that a couple of times. I talked about when he says "whoops." That seems to be in very. Sometimes he says that in very odd terms that seem like they're referring to somebody dying or getting. So there definitely seem.
Cho also shared a strikingly petty incident involving a brief moment with rock icon David Bowie. During his segment, Bowie had openly complimented Cho's outfit, but that entire exchange was allegedly cut from a final edit, seemingly out of spite. The contradiction was impossible to ignore. The same figure who built a billion-dollar empire on the words "be kind" was now accused of enforcing control behind the scenes with cold precision. An internal investigation followed. Executives were dismissed, and the host issued an emotional on-air apology. But something had shifted for good. The audience didn't fully return. The illusion had shattered. And yet, the toxic workplace was only the surface, because the powerful circles she moved in away from the cameras were about to bring consequences far greater than anyone expected.
Hedda Muscat worked on The Ellen Show back in 2003.
Phony, liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture. I was there from day one. We were all petrified of her. She was not.
It began with a completely strange interview involving Chrissy Teigen, a model and longtime figure within Hollywood's inner social circle. During what was supposed to be a light, casual conversation, she was suddenly asked an unexpected and deeply unsettling question about whether she would ever consider consuming human flesh. Instead of dismissing it as absurd or steering the moment away, she leaned into it. She reportedly responded without hesitation that if the other person agreed, she would, in fact, be open to it, a remark that instantly sent shockwaves through the internet and left audiences questioning how such a conversation even unfolded in the first place.
Nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
Yet soon, online users began connecting that interview to an old, resurfaced clip from 2009. A young model named Gabriela Jimenez was seen in a highly distressed state outside a luxury hotel. She was screaming, crying uncontrollably, and allegedly telling police she had just witnessed powerful guests involved in something she described as an unthinkable act involving human flesh.
Me dijeron a quién mataron, a la reina de Escocia, a la reina de Inglaterra, a las princesas y no de Tailandia, mataron a mis hijos, también por eso. ¿Qué? Aquí va a venir mi madre. Tú no están locos, mataron a mucha gente, muere esa carne de humano, lárgate, comieron humanos. ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, o sea, de los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos! Oye, no me llevan. A mí no me llevan hasta que esto no se aclare. A mí no me llevan. Ustedes me tuvieron ahí. Bueno, le sacaron una copia. Para que me intentaran. No, suéltame.
When you look back at how young, vulnerable stars were treated on daytime television, the warning signs feel hard to ignore in hindsight. One of the most widely discussed examples involves Justin Bieber. Today, he is known for stepping away from the spotlight and focusing on his peace. But back then, he was one of the biggest teenage stars in the world, and the industry often treated him more like content than a person. During one highly uncomfortable appearance on daytime TV, the host referenced paparazzi photos that had reportedly been taken of him in a private moment while on vacation in Bora Bora. Bieber appeared visibly uncomfortable. He spoke about feeling violated, explaining how photographers had allegedly hidden in 16-minute boats just to capture intrusive images. Instead of easing the moment, the broadcast displayed the images on a large screen behind him for millions to see. She then began questioning him about the woman seen in the background of the photo. Demand for answers continues to circulate online, often mixed with a maze of court filings, personal disputes, internet speculation, and the real emotional toll described by people who say they were mistreated or ignored within the industry. The downfall of the daytime television icon isn't just being framed as a story about workplace tension or a difficult environment. It has become a broader reflection on the illusion of celebrity culture itself. Audiences invested their time, trust, and attention into personalities who appeared warm on screen and urged kindness. Yet behind the scenes, critics and former insiders have pointed to stories involving private communications, missed warnings about young performers, and the blurred lines between power and access within entertainment spaces. Over time, the image that once felt untouchable began to shift, and the audience response changed with it. What do you think is really going on behind all of this? Is the wave of speculation simply internet distortion, or is it a sign of deeper scrutiny finally reaching powerful figures in entertainment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden layers of Hollywood culture.
About to sound completely insane, but just hear me out. This pertains to the Epstein files, the Clintons, and cannibalism, and I feel completely fine and I'm totally okay. Alright, let's do this. How do we know if someone is a cannibal? Well, they could have the Kuru disease, which is a fatal neurodegenerative disease that spreads through eating brain tissue. It has a long incubation period, 10 to 30 years. Early symptoms are headaches, coordination issues, anxiety, and inappropriate laughter. Middle stage, severe tremors and shaking, loss of balance, and slurred speech. Late stage, inability to walk, dementia, and the forever sleep. Do you know of any elites rumored to have consumed human flesh? But I'm not accusing anyone of anything, this is just a fun little joke video. With truth in the mix, in Papua New Guinea they call human long pig. Oh, we just love to have fun here. No, the Kuru disease has nothing to do with the Epstein files or anyone in them. Definitely not the Clintons. And I feel fantastic, so yeah, have a good day. Okay, thank you.
What, Ellen?
Ellen was like really weird and not nice to me for most of my career, and like because I opened for her in the 1980s.
Oh, you did?
When she was a headliner in comedy clubs, and not way before her big fame. And so then when I would do her talk show in the 2000s, she acted like we just met, and I'm like, what?
One of those times.
I'm like, what? Like that's weird. Like
right.
it's like we go way back. What? Like it's so creepy and weird, but you know, also the other thing was David Bowie had been on the show, and he was so excited that the night before that I had come to his show wearing this giant Chinese emperor outfit. He was really thrilled about it, and he talked at length about it. And she cut it out of the show, which made me so mad. And the producer, who was a really good friend of mine, had to call me and tell me, I can't believe she did this, but she cut it out of the show. But you need to know that he was going on and on about your outfit.
Oh
he loves you. God said your name.
So
which is so rude.
That is so gross.
I don't know if it was personal. Maybe it was for time.
Right.
But still, I'm going to take it personally just because I decided to.
You should have sent her a note and said, send me the footage. I'll post it to my YouTube.
I know it exists somewhere.
In May 2002, the Ellen DeGeneres show was canceled. And then 2 months later, Anne Hesh, Ellen's ex-girlfriend, was in a really bad car accident where she flew her Mini Cooper into someone's house and it caught fire. And what has never sat right with me is the cross comparison between the coroner's report and the actual aerial footage. The coroner's report says that she was unconscious until her death, after just from smoke inhalation and from being brain dead from the fumes in her brain. But if you look at the footage, she sits straight up, and that takes a conscious effort, I feel. But I'm not a scientist. I mean, I'm not a doctor. But the other thing is her other host, her co-host Twitch, died 4 months after that. And I just think that that's a suspicious amount of like close people around you dying in weird ways.
The stories we've explored today are difficult to fully absorb. It's hard to align the public image of a daytime icon with the disturbing claims of extraction, control, and consumption that circulate online in the darkest corners of discussion. But truth, as uncomfortable as it may be, doesn't bend itself to what we find easy to believe. As Jim Caviezel has been quoted in various contexts, the message remains the same whether you interpret these events as literal or symbolic. The suggestion, depending on who is telling the story, is that those at the highest levels have been drawing strength from the generations beneath them in order to sustain their influence and power. The individuals referenced in these narratives are often tied to enormous financial and institutional networks, structures that some claim actively work to suppress scrutiny. According to these allegations, efforts have already been made to silence films, delay documentaries, and discredit whistleblowers. But once a story gains momentum, it becomes harder to contain. Subscribe if you want to follow these discussions as they develop. This channel focuses on digging beyond surface-level narratives, looking at claims and controversies that rarely make it into mainstream coverage. Hit subscribe and stay with us as we continue examining what lies beneath the headlines.